International Federation for Information Processing, Professor Mike Hinchey, and also a professor of software engineering from the University of Limerick Island. The executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, managing director of Galaxy Backbone Limited, Professor Muhammad Bello Abubakar, executive commissioners of LCC, both executive commissioner of LCC and other non-executive board members here present, my colleagues from the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy here with us, our colleagues from the Nigerian Communications Commission here, stakeholders, speakers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen of the press, all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. Firstly, I begin by appreciating the effort of our two speakers, keynote speakers, the Secretary General of ITU, that I only reached out to him last week to be part of this event, and he was able to adjust his calendar and join us virtually. This is indeed very commendable, and we are most appreciative. Furthermore, our respected friend and brother, the president of International Federation for Information Processing, is almost the same. Less than a month, I reached out to him. At that time, I believe he had over 50 events on his calendar, and most of them are outside his country. And still, he squeezed his calendar to be here. I think before COVID-19, I think there was a year that he traveled over 120 times. And is one of the intellectual giants we have within the ICT sector. We are glad that both of them are here with us, one of them physically and the other one virtually. And I also use the opportunity to appreciate other speakers that came from the US and other countries to come and share their knowledge with us with regards to the regulatory roadmap for Internet of Things ecosystem in Nigeria. This is indeed commendable, and we are most appreciative. My job is very simple. It's just to say a few words to all of you with regards to why we are here. We are here for the Stakeholders Consultative Forum on Emerging Technologies. But I think the apostrophe should be after, it's not before. Stakeholders Consultative Forum on Emerging Technologies. I hope the organizers will take note of that. We are here to discuss and come up with a roadmap for IoT ecosystem in Nigeria. As we all know that IoT, Internet of Things, is part of the fourth industrial revolution, being driven by emerging technologies. Emerging technologies are many. Internet of Things is one of them. Artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, cloud computing, autonomous vehicle, augmented reality, virtual reality, fifth generation, cyber security, cloud computing, and many more. They are part of the fourth industrial revolution and also part of the emerging technologies or disruptive technologies. Today, if you look at the fourth industrial revolution, first industrial revolution was largely in Britain, particularly two cities of Manchester and Liverpool. Second industrial revolution was also in Britain, followed by Belgium, Germany, France, and the US. 4 of them were called the chess group. While the third industrial revolution, still in Britain, Belgium, Germany, France, the US, then the new entries were Japan and Australia. While in the fourth industrial revolution, you had many new entries. In Asia, there are many, in Europe, many, and even in Africa, we are not far from them. This is indeed very commendable. So, fourth industrial revolution is about more of creating a virtual world. A virtual world. We have biological world, physical world, and now another world has been created, that is a virtual world. And this virtual world is being created by the emerging technologies. And IoT plays a significant role in that. Furthermore, as Professor Mike Lynch mentioned about regulation, that is why in Nigeria, our regulatory approach from 2019 to date, based on the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria, is developmental regulation. We have made our regulatory approach to be somehow flexible. It's not in any way to restrict unnecessarily the development of the sector, but rather to support development. And with all sense of humility, we could be the first country to come up with regulatory that has been entitled as developmental regulation. This is just to provide the enabling environment for the sector to continue to grow, not to restrict unnecessarily as it is being found in other places. IoT is one of the most important components of the fourth industrial revolution, and particularly disruptive technologies. Why? Because IoT brought about datafication today. Because of the interconnected smart devices, where one device is connected to the other. Today at home, you will discover sometimes more than 10 devices are interconnected. And it is because of this huge amount of data being generated, not only daily, but you can say every minute. Globally, huge amount of data is being generated. And if care is not taken, that data that is being generated is going to be abused. So IoT plays a significant role in data generation, that is datafication of our society. For example, according to Google, from the dawn of civilization up to 2003, you may wish to say around 5,000 watts, 5,000 years. 5,000 years approximately. Within 5,000 years, the amount of data generated up to 2003 was 5 exabytes within that period. But today, with IoT, every 24 hours, 2.5 exabytes of data is being generated. So by implication, the data being generated within 48 hours today is equated to the data generated 5,000 years up to 2003. Without coming up with a regulatory approach, this is going to be abused. And data is important. And if you generate without using it, then sometimes the aim of generating is also defeated. According to the International Data Corporation, IDC, that by 2025, there will be around 46.1 billion IoT devices that are going to be interconnected globally. 46.1 billion IoT devices. 46.1 IoT devices. They are going to be interconnected. And through this connection, there is high probability that the data to be generated could be up to 79.4 zettabytes. 79.4 zettabytes. I hope we understand the terms. As we all know, 1,000 kilobytes give you 1 megabyte. Approximately 1,000 megabytes give you 1 gigabyte. Then 1,000 of gigabytes give you terabytes. 1,000 terabytes give you petabytes. 1,000 petabytes approximately give you exabytes. 1,000 exabytes give you zettabytes. 1,000 zettabytes give you petabyte. 1,000 petabytes give you 1 brontobyte. The 1,000 brontobytes give you 1 geobyte. So if you look at it, the data being generated today is a huge one. And by 2025, that will increase. We have exponential growth of data today. And this is being driven by IoT. That is why there is need for regulatory institutions to always be proactive. Proactive, we try to brainstorm, organize stakeholder engagement, come up with some developmental regulatory instruments that will make the sector very successful. And when data is generated, we will make sense out of it. Today in Nigeria, we have Nigeria Data Protection Regulation to ensure that there is privacy and confidentiality in data under government's custody. And we also established Nigeria Data Protection Bureau with a national commissioner in charge of that. This is to ensure that at least we have privacy of data, and at the same time, with these stakeholders' engagement, we will be able to be on track and be proactive and ensure that at least we set the ball rolling. Once again, thank you all for being here. We are most appreciated.